The dynasty is here. I can officially be everyone's villain. I don't care. I've accepted it. It is now. We are the Chiefs. We are never the underdogs. That's all there is to it. Oh, yeah. Woo. Okay.
Here we go. Hey, hold my beer.
Rage Beef Jerky is a sponsor of the Chubby Buddies podcast, and we are glad to have them on here as they have been with us since episode 2 of the podcast. They can be found in 5 states across 400 plus locations. Unless that's changed, I need to reach out and actually find that out. But
you should. I thought they'd been here since episode 1.
No, episode 1 they reached out. Like that's like on my birthday is when we dropped episode 1.
We dropped episode 1, then they reached out,
Yep.
and they were
Episode
sponsors
2.
as of episode 2.
Yep.
That's right.
So, but I mean, it's still the beginning. So, but anyway,
they've been here since the beginning. We love you.
But they can be found in Kansas, Nebraska, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Whew, that was hard. And they also have their meat sticks. I'm surprised I still remember what states they're from. But they also have their meat sticks that they dropped at $6.99 a package. So you can't beat that price. That price point, I think, is probably the best across meat sticks in general. So the quality of meat sticks that you're getting. Yeah.
That's 4 sticks for $6.99, and they're all like good sized. I mean, we're talking biggest, maybe not quite as big as my head.
I would say they're approximately 6.5 inches long.
That's about accurate.
I guess I could measure it one of these days, but I don't. But anyway, either way, they have one of the best meat sticks, not on top of the best beef jerky I've ever tried. Josh would agree, and everybody that we've talked to, even the one that won our $50 gift card, who might make a special appearance one of these episodes. Just sit here and chit chat. We get to meet him for once. But he also said that it was the best beef jerky he'd ever tried. He's all the way up in Massachusetts, so I don't know what type of beef jerky that they're dealing with. So, but that is Rage Beef Jerky that we found on Instagram, Facebook, and all you got to do is go visit them at ragebeefjerky.com and use what promo code?
That is the promo code Chubby. That's CHUBBY. And that will get you 15% off at checkout. So it's a good deal. It's a real good deal.
It's a phenomenal deal, especially on the meat sticks. So that's, I mean, you're saving money in this, I don't even know what kind of economical crisis are we in, but you get meat sticks.
I can tell you this much. You can put your money in CDs anywhere. You're not going to get 15%. So
nope.
You're saving money.
So if you're not in those 5 states or across any of those 400 plus locations, go and visit them at www.ragebeefjerky.com and don't forget to use that promo code Chubby Rage.
And get your jerky on.
Hey, I mean, first off, we could say thanks for joining us again for episode 55, I do believe is what this is.
Yes.
That's impressive.
We are excited. Let me tell you, this is a special one for me because, this is my number. We did 50, and that was your number.
Yeah,
we did 21. I don't even know if Jordan was with us on 21.
Well, why isn't he here today?
You know what? That's a good question. And I was actually talking to him. I texted him, and was I was letting him know we were going to record today after the game. And he actually got back to me. He said that he got invited. This is crazy, dude. He got invited to sing backup for Taylor on the next stretch of the Eras tours. Okay? So he's singing backup for the next stretch of the Eras tours, and he's doing costume fittings right now. So he wasn't going to be able to make it to record with us today.
Oh, he's taking that skill.
Here next week.
He's taking that girl dad skill.
Oh, absolutely, man. He's been hitting. He hits the pipes in the showers. He's always killing it in front of that mirror. So I mean, man's ready to flaunt it, I guess. And
you think he got moves like Usher?
Tell you what, man, if Jordan can be half as flexible on some skates as Usher was last night, I would be impressed. I would be very impressed.
Well, we miss him either way, but hey, he just hang out with Tay-Tay.
Yeah, absolutely. Have fun, Jordan. Hopefully they give you something that's form-fitting and really accentuates the parts of you that look good, man. We're cheering for you. So
yeah,
best of luck, dude. We know you got the moves for it. So.
But what you been up to?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I have been riding the high, and I know we try not to do this, but I don't care. We are recording this the day after the Super Bowl, and I am celebrating because, man, the dynasty is here. I can officially be everyone's villain. I don't care. I've accepted it. It is now. We are the Chiefs. We are never the underdogs. That's all there is to it. Oh, yeah, baby. Woo! Okay, so
Well, you can't say that you are the underdogs, but you always prevail.
yes, always. Hey, you can count us down. You can never count us out, baby. That's how it is.
I
Let me
have
tell
yet to
you,
do
you
that.
got to watch firsthand. Jordan got to experience it as a Chiefs fan, but you got to watch firsthand how much suffering we did in our childhood. You got to enjoy your childhood because, 90s were the Cowboys era. So, I mean,
Yeah,
you were
but
a
when we
baby.
were
I
hanging
get it.
out,
You were a
like
baby.
when I was hanging out with you, the Cowboys were just mediocre at
Y'all
best.
had
They were
just
C.
wrapped up. Y'all had just
Yeah.
wrapped up. Aikman was done. Like, it was still the glory days of the Cowboys, but they were over.
Yeah, they were over
And we were
2000.
we were over there in Kansas going, this will be our year for the Chiefs.
It's a rebuilding year.
Well, after 2 or 3 years of this will be our year, then it's a rebuilding year. And then it's a rebuilding year. And then it's like, oh, no, this is the year. We can do it this year. And
But
then we'd make it to the
2003, I will tell you
playoffs,
that
and
they
then we'd
teased you
lose.
guys really good.
Bro,
They
okay, so that was Dante Hall. We had
Dick
X Factor.
Vermeil
We
was
had
head
Jamal
coach.
Charles, Dick Vermeil, Trent Green.
Gonzalez.
That team was good. Yeah, Tony G. I mean, that team was good, but I don't know.
The defense wasn't there. The defense
My
was not there.
entire childhood, from the moment we lost Derek Thomas, I just remember a stretch of never being able to win playoff games. We just couldn't.
So much so that we even would stop practice on Monday practice, like for the JV, to watch
Yes.
the Chiefs game. Like that's how good
Yeah.
they were in 2003.
Absolutely. It was amazing. It was
And
such
that never
a good
happened.
time. And here's the thing. I thought that was peak Chiefs time. I thought that was the peak. I was like,
For you, it
it's not
was
gonna
at
get
the
any
time.
better.
For
We
you,
were
at your
12
time,
and
it was.
4 that year, I think. 12-4 we went that year.
You
And,
guys
like,
had a better
made it to
record
the-
then than you guys had this year in the regular season.
Yeah, dude, it was insane how well they were playing. And it was like, this is it. This is the best the Chiefs are going to ever be. I'd gotten to meet Jamal Charles personally here at the schools.
Jamal wasn't there.
It was
Jamal wasn't there, though.
Cool. In 03? No,
No.
that would have been Priest.
Priest
That would have
Holmes
been
was-
Priest.
Jamal didn't
That's
come
right.
until
That
like
was
after
Priest. Jamal's
2016.
after. Jamal comes with Alex. That's
Yeah,
the
he came
canon.
in 2015,
Yeah, it's
16.
Trent and Priest, Jamal and Alex.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
you had some fumbles in between that too, so we just won't highlight those.
Let's not, because then we'd have to talk about Johnson. Then we'd have to talk about no. Yeah, let's not. Let's not.
Hmm. But no, you're on cloud nine right now, and as you should be. And we'll get more into detail like in sports, but like it's okay to be on cloud nine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
So I'm on cloud nine.
I will say this: we watched the greatest Super Bowl I think of our living day last night. If you were tuning in, it was the best Super Bowl. Like a fan could want to watch.
I could agree with the second half and overtime.
I would just say just the
First
whole
half was a little disappointing.
but not because the opportunity wasn't there. It was because of shortfalls in between. Like the football from beginning to end was head on head the whole game. Everybody was in the game.
Absolutely. I think it just felt like there were some plays in the first half that felt like mental mistakes that shouldn't happen in a Super Bowl. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you also had those you had worse mental mistakes in the regular season. So like you can counteract those by saying like, hey, we learned from our worst mistakes and made them way smaller.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of saying that about both teams for the first half and just kind of in general about how I felt about the game. But like second half and overtime felt like as elite as possible. And it felt like two juggernauts just slugging back and forth, making plays. And you knew every play was going to matter.
If our Super Bowls could be like that every year, then I would be totally for that. Would I watch?
That'd be worth it.
I don't care
every time.
I don't care what teams are in it, but if every Super Bowl is like that, 100%, I would rather watch that than any type of blowout or a big comeback. Those are always the best.
Absolutely agree. And this was a much more thrilling overtime victory than what we had to endure the last time the Super Bowl went to the overtime. And we had to watch Tom Brady make his comeback against Atlanta, and all of us just be like, this sucks.
I mean, I never count Tom Brady out. Just like Patrick Mahomes, you don't count Tom
That's
Brady
the
out.
point. That's kind of the whole point, is when they're that good, when they're a generational type quarterback, you can never count them out.
Nope. But nothing else before the Super Bowl happening, like
oh God, that's the
news?
problem, man. Like when you've got that big of news, how do you even think of anything else that's going on in your life?
I don't know.
Gosh, what else has happened? I mean, it's snowing right now.
Yeah,
That's
I saw
kinda
that it was
nice.
snowing.
Yeah.
But any news on the update of the house that you guys are done with? Or?
Just slow and steady, getting it fixed. The flooring's supposed to be here this week, so didn't have to do with last week, but coming up this week, I'm pretty excited about it. I get to go to Ozark Christian College. I am headed up there with one of my students. He's going to do a Tuesday tour.
Oh, cool.
And check out the campus. And...
I thought that they had the best cafeteria food. Like, it was some of the best food.
Huh.
Well, when we went anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Things have changed since we went.
It's still pretty good, man. I worked there. It was good food.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get like a job offer from there.
Oh, from Ozark? I probably, interestingly enough, I think if I finished my master's, I probably could get some sort of teaching role. What's been going on with the
master's? Like, are you still pursuing that?
It's on pause right now just because of where we're at in life. I'm gonna finish it. It's just with us picking up and moving and starting a business and everything, I knew that I wouldn't be able to have the time to focus on that. I've gotten about half of it done, and I've gotten all A's and 1 C in my classes, nice. So doing pretty good.
Well, that's good. Well, I too watched the Super Bowl, and I mean, like I said before, I thought it was one of the best Super Bowls I ever saw. Before that, I watched so many like videos on YouTube just leading up. There's so much going on in or anywhere the Super Bowl is. I couldn't imagine like having that schedule. Like,
oh yeah,
couldn't imagine it. Like the New Heights episode. Did you watch that when it came out?
I did, yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine dealing with like needing to be here at this time, no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, because you have like so much stuff going on, like press conferences and all the practice on top of that. I don't know how you can stay focused on just one thing when you have all that stuff going. And being in Vegas, one of the most popular cities in the United States, if not the most popular city in the United States, dealing with the most popular game in American sports, I would say, besides maybe the Olympics. Like, that's crazy.
I'd agree with that. I mean, it's huge. It is like, it's the biggest thing watched it feels like almost every year.
Yeah, well, it's the most consistent thing
most watched. Consistently major watch.
The only thing that beats it out, I think, is like the World Cup, which is every 4 years. So, I mean, the equivalent of that is not even measurable, because 4 Super Bowls is the equivalent of what, maybe 1.5 World Cups.
It's funny, you talk about the World Cup and you would say, yeah, it's like the Olympics. But truthfully, I think the World Cup might actually be viewed more than the Olympics.
It is. I mean, because there's so many countries watch it. Like,
yeah,
I'll be honest, I've only watched it for that.
There's no denying there is no more international a sport than soccer. Period.
Right.
Like, no sport compares in the internationalness to soccer. Like, it is a game that
the
is
only thing close to it is the Olympics, because so many nations are involved with it. That's it.
Well, and truthfully, the Olympics is just a gathering of simple games like soccer that anyone can pick up, play, and learn, but that takes real mastery to become great at.
And then the flag football is coming. Whoa. America's going to dominate that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're going to dominate that like they do basketball and all that other stuff.
Oh, you know it, dude. Are you kidding? You won't even be close.
But
so about you, man? What's going on in your life these days?
Nothing. I'm just busy working. Crazy. Like, I know that you don't deal with like too much. Did you see the post that I tagged you in maybe 2 weeks ago?
Possibly. Give me a little
context. Tagged your name. Well, it was on Instagram. It was for a giveaway, right? So I usually just enter them, especially if it's a friend of mine, like through the YouTube verse or whatever. Like
Yeah,
I'll share their stuff. I
I'm
tagged
pretty
your
sure I
name in
checked
it.
it out.
I tagged your name in it. And it was a chance to win a hot sauce that was featured on this most current hot ones,
Oh yeah,
and I won.
nice.
Yeah, by I forget the company's name is Sam's. Okay, so if you were to pick the box up and read it, you would say Sam's House, but it's Sam's House.
Sauce.
Sauce.
Okay.
It's sauce.
Okay,
I think
gotcha.
it's instead of saying House, it's Sam Sauce, and that's the hot
Okay.
sauce. But it's the most recent hot ones had this guy that's on this new Netflix show or movie that was like the biggest hit for like the past 2 weeks, I guess. I didn't watch it. I don't even know what it is. But it's called Smoky J's is the one that was the hot sauce that was on there, and I got a bottle of that and then 3 other ones. So I'm gonna
Cool.
try those and maybe
When
post
did
a
they come?
video. I already got them. I just got
Oh,
them
nice.
Friday, I think.
Cool. I can't
just
wait to see them.
Yeah. So, well, I actually I made a video and posted it on TikTok and YouTube. Like, I made a little like promo video for them just because I got it for free. I mean, I always feel like if I get something, then I'm gonna like
I'm
kind of
the
shout
same
them out.
way. I love doing that. Like when Rage sends us stuff, I always try to post something because I love it. I'm super grateful.
Well, I was testing
You
out some of
kidding?
my skills on my video editing skills. I thought this would be a good opportunity to test it out, and I made this little like short little like video promo type thing and then shared it to him, and he loved it. So he posted it to all of his social medias. So I've been in contact with the owner of the company. So we've been talking back and forth, and he had me go check out his podcast, and they just sit down and talk hot sauce and cooking and grilling and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, you should check out the video and let me know what you think.
I'm checking it out right now.
Yeah, let me know.
Those look good.
This is my editing skills.
See, okay, look, it's good. You set a vibe. Sauce? Same sauce. Sauce.
Sauce.
Same sauce. Okay.
But
Those look
yeah,
good, man.
Yeah,
the color's vibrant.
Yeah. I'm gonna try
I'm
those
guessing
out.
green's more mild.
No, actually, I think they're all pretty like level in heat, but like one's a chimichar, which is like chimichurri sauce. So like you want to try that with like grilled meats and stuff. You know that meat that we had at um oh the meat marathon
At the meat parade.
Yeah, the meat parade, like that sauce that usually comes out with that skirt steak type stuff, and it's supposed to their chimichurri sauce did not taste good. So this stuff I'm hopeful for. So I think I'm gonna try that with just like a grilled steak and just dip it in there. I'm gonna try it on a video, and I'm gonna make a video for him, like a review or some sort. And then there's a hot habanero, and then there is a Smoky J's. Like he said that's really good on like meats, and then also it's one of them. I think it's supposed to be treated like a verde sauce.
Okay.
So eggs and any type of smoked meat.
See, I thought maybe that's what the green sauce was. Yeah.
Well, they're all pretty close in color too when you actually open the bottles up. But then like there's also one that's like he says that it's not strictly for street tacos, but it's phenomenal on street tacos. So that's the one that I'm gonna
try that.
Yeah, I got 4. I'll bring them whenever you come back down. That way we can try them on your biscuit bombs.
Ooh, I like that. I'm excited to do that.
But the level of heat, I don't know what the level of heat is, but it's on hot ones, and it's the very first sauce that he tries. So I'll be ready to try that one. But no, that's been about it. So, other than that, I did buy Jamie a Valentine's Day gift, and I mean, I don't want to like I guess get my head too big. I was happy with the purchase, right?
Okay.
I don't plan for Valentine's Day. Like, how much time, like, if I was to ask you, how much time do you normally spend planning on either buying a gift or setting up a day for you and Heather for Valentine's Day or any given date?
And we're talking specifically Valentine's Day?
Any given Valentine's Day or any given type of, like, date, like going out on a date. Like, how much time do you spend on it?
That is different because, like, Valentine's Day for us is a little bit more just a holiday
than it
is anything. So, like, we don't.
Do you guys buy gifts for each other?
Some years we do. Some years we don't. It kind of depends.
But she's not going to get mad if you don't, right?
No,
That's the
no, and
point.
that's
That's what
that's
I'm
kind
getting
of
at.
the thing. And really the reason I say that is because we do dates so regularly that like Valentine's Day, kind of this idea is like a big specific date day feels weird for us because it's like we do
It's
this pretty
forced.
regularly.
It's pretty
So I
forced.
don't want to, yeah, it's forced and it feels like it's so over the top
Generic.
and generic. Like one, it's like you have to do flowers, and you have to do candy, and you have to take them out to dinner, and you have to take them out to a movie or something. Like it gets grander and grander, like culturally. And for Heather and I, we almost kind of want to do the opposite route. Like it's
Right.
like how simple can we make our Valentine's Day? Like let me make you a really nice meal and let's cuddle and watch a movie, or let's go out, for a walk, or
Well,
I
like
don't
I
know.
look at
But
Valentine's Day as how like maybe a just cause day. That's like I would rather that be. Oh, it's just because I was thinking about you that day. Like flowers, I think are the worst gift that should be like almost a forced gift kind of like thing. Like jewelry and stuff like that. Like that should be like the kind of like maybe anniversary would be a jewelry thing, but like
sure.
flowers should just be just because, not just because it's this day. That's
See,
what
and
I was
that's
getting at.
that's so funny because Heather, like, I will occasionally get
Yeah.
her flowers, but she laughs and makes a point. She goes, "If flowers ever get delivered to the house, I'm not opening the door." And I said, "Why?" And she goes, "Because I would sooner believe that that's a serial killer than that you had flowers delivered."
Right. And Jamie knows that. Like I'd get her flowers maybe once a year. Usually once a year, and it's not on Valentine's Day usually. I have occasionally done it, but that's kind of why I was like going to this gift. I picked this gift out not because it's Valentine's Day, but because Jamie doesn't expect it to be on Valentine's Day. So she wouldn't have like expected it. That's why I was kind of proud of it. But what it is like this etched. You see this light right here behind me? This
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys? It's kind of like that, but it's like a square. I think it's an 8x10, so it's like a magazine size, I think.
Okay.
And what it is a picture of us. It's my favorite picture of us for our anniversary pictures that Megan actually took.
Oh,
And then what it has on it is a code on it that you scan on Spotify, and it brings up our song that we danced to at our
that's
what
cute.
on at our reception that you were at. So it's
That's
the
cute.
and then it just I think I put on there I love you more, and that's the gift I got her. So the reason why I was happy about it is because like she's going to be more surprised about it than I was. Like I hate buying gifts on Valentine's Day. Oh, hey, here's a gift card for Starbucks.
I can tell you for us, we kind of minimize, like we just downplay it. It's simple for us, but
Some people go
yeah,
all out, like Christmas on that day. Like that's crazy.
that's why it kills me. I'm like, there's no reason to like.
That should be a
It doesn't
just cuz
express
thing,
more
man.
love just because you bought a bigger gift.
On Valentine's Day, a day
I
that
love.
has
I tell you what, my favorite gift that I got Heather this year cost like $6,
is that the hair
and
thing?
yeah, it was out of left field. She had no idea it was coming, and I loved getting it for her because it met a need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it was the only gift that I got her that I really felt like said, "Hey, I see you and I know you."
right. And it's the ones that like they
Everything
least
else
expect.
was, yeah, everything else was like stuff that I knew she wanted or stuff that I knew she'd enjoy, like craft supplies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it's
I've
like,
gotten her cricket stuff before, and like that just it didn't satisfy me to buy a cricket thing because she could really go out and get that herself. Like it's like like I don't know what she really needs, but I know what she doesn't have. Whether
Heather
she needs it or
likes,
not.
Heather won't do like experimenting unless she has extra stuff. And so I like buying her stuff so that she can just experiment and
Oh
play
yeah,
around and enjoy what she's doing.
yeah. And with Jamie, she's pretty simple. Like I don't want anything for Valentine's Day. I really don't. Like chocolate is still not my favorite thing to
Heather's love
get.
language is quality time. So like as long as I'm spending time with her, it's her favorite. Like she's happy.
That's all you could wish for. Time.
Dude, I tell you what, like I've never I never understood how simple love could be, and even still it drives me nuts at times.
Oh, you have
Like
no
we have a
idea.
simple love and I still want to strangle that woman half the time. Like, oh, I love her though. Like what is marriage, dude? Like I want to strangle that woman and I'm madly in love with her. How does that work? How does the
Well,
human mind process that?
the thing that bugs me, and I'm not trying to use this segment as a venting thing, but like, does your wife now? And I'm only going out of left field with this just because it just happened to be 2 days ago. This is my biggest pet peeve about my wife. Okay, she
Oh,
orders like she orders things that needs to be put together, right?
okay.
She knows that she can't put this together.
She ain't putting this together.
She ain't
Not at
putting this
all.
together, but
Right.
it's my job to
Right.
put this thing together. Okay.
Does she ask you to do it?
No, she just assumes. Okay. Now, this is my whole thing. Like, I have no problem putting things together that you buy or that you want or whatever. I'm not going to buy something for it that needs to be put together because then I've created another job for myself. Okay, I'm going to buy something that's either put together or something that is like maybe five minutes to put together. Not this. I kid you not. Took over 5 hours to put together. Do you know how much time? And this was a fireplace, like one of those generic ass fireplaces. I love Jamie, but I hate putting together stupid shit like fireplaces. Okay, we did, and it doesn't
Okay,
blow heat
so
worth nothing. It doesn't do shit. I'm
so I'm
venting
asked this
now.
question. I'm asked this question. If she had asked before buying it, hey Bobby, I'm thinking about buying this. I know I'm not going to be able to put it together. Will you put this together for me? Would it have bothered you at all?
No, no.
Even knowing it took 5 hours to do, would it have bothered you at all to do? Oh, right. You would have been worn out, but your spirit would have still been willing. Yes.
I'd have been more, I guess, okay with it. I guess, but like this
Sure.
is how it happened, and I'm gonna give you the rundown of how it happened. Okay,
Love this.
I'm sitting here,
the
and all of a
games they
sudden,
play, bro. The games they play. Go ahead.
I'm sitting there watching TV. She goes, "Hey, you're gonna be mad at me," and I was like, "Oh
Oh my
shit."
gosh,
I was
that's
like, "What?"
loving.
I was like, "What?" And she's like, "I bought something," and me, I'm thinking like she bought like I don't know more jewelry or something. Like she has this thing about this jewelry stuff. That was the first thought in my head, or maybe she bought like LuLaRoe or something. I don't know. No, she goes, I bought another fireplace. We already had a small fireplace that our TV was on. Okay. And it warmed the whole living room up. That was the crazy thing. And I was like, you did what? You bought another fireplace. She goes, I wanted a big one. Like this thing takes up a whole wall in our living room. Like it's like
Oh my.
if it was if you could compare sizes, it's 3 times the size of one that was in the living room, blows 10 times less heat. That's why I was so mad. Like you knew nothing about this thing. Like it took 5 hours, but it says 2.5. But that's like probably if you've ever put this style of fireplace together, because there's there was 28, I think 28 or something like that, different pieces to actually put together, and half of it is prepping it and putting glue on these dowels that they don't give you enough damn glue for. You put these glue on these dowels, and then you screw in these like the locking system with those like little like washers that you turn and then they lock into the bolt. Yeah, that's half the time. That's just prepping the boards and all that stuff. And then the rest of it is connecting them together with those locking and then also re-gluing the dowels that you already ran out of glue of. So, yeah, that's the one thing that I wish if I could, like we had time travel on here. If I could go back in time, I would be like, yeah, I'm not putting anything together that takes more than an hour and a half.
Would you put that in your vows? Just say,
Yeah.
listen,
Hey,
Jamie.
if you don't know how to put it together, I'm not putting it together. But then this is
Like this
here's
marriage does not include assembly included.
right. Like this is a funny story. This happened at like a little bit over halfway through me putting it over. She goes, "How did you learn how to read instructions?" I was like, "What? You don't learn how to read instructions. The instructions are literally as you go. You don't learn to read instructions. Like you pretty much learn
Yeah, it's one
numbers.
step at a
It's one
time.
through whatever step you have."
Yeah.
I was like, "You don't learn. It's not Spanish.
How did you learn
How
to
did you learn how
read
to read instructions?" I said,
instructions?
"It's not that hard." She goes, "I can't do it." No, you don't want to do it. And this thing, I kid you not, I don't know how the guy brought it up on the porch by himself, but he did. So heavy. Like at least
Yeah.
200 plus pounds. The dude
Good
picked it
Lord.
up, put it up on one shoulder and walked it up my steps. And Jamie
What
said
a
that he just
hoss.
dropped
Did you offer him a contract?
I wasn't there. Jamie said that he dropped it on the porch, and I was like, oh, well, I guess we're getting one broken fireplace then. But
So
yeah,
what's the news? Is it working?
it's something to look at. That's all it is.
Oh, okay, that's right. You said it's 3 times the size, but it produces 10 times less heat.
Yeah, the vent on this thing is like this big that blows heat. The one on our other
Do you
one
have
was
to
the
lean
width.
in real close?
Yeah, you have to stand up next to it to
It's
get
so
the warmth.
warm.
But like the one that was in our living room that was like the size of like an end table, but it stood up higher. The vent on it was like this big and like this wide, and it constantly blew heat. It warmed up our whole living room. It's like, what are you doing? But no. And then I bought her one for like our anniversary it was Christmas, like probably 7-8 years ago when we lived in Goddard.
You should get her like a real fireplace.
I'm not putting a fireplace in this house. That's buying a new house. That's the cost of probably a new house.
An outdoor fireplace.
We have a
Like
chimney. We have a
Do you?
chimney. Yeah.
Well, tell it to use.
Shit. I'm cold. Well, you're going to be even colder in the house because that heater don't blow nothing. Yeah. Go outside and use the chimney. Wrap a blanket on and go use the chimney. But no, hey, now that I'm done venting, do you eat at Burger King a lot in your area?
We don't have a Burger King nearby. Like closest one is Springfield. So
Really?
I'll stop on.
They don't have one in Branson?
Mm-mm. Closest one is Springfield. I'll stop on road trips.
Yeah.
I probably haven't had Burger King in probably a couple of years though.
Well, the Burger King here sucks. Like it is trash. And they closed the one on 30th Street. Like the one that actually had good food. Like it was like fresh.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've had good Burger King since I've been in Hutchinson. So,
well, I mean, I've had like on the way to Leavenworth for the draft, we stopped at a Burger King off the highway, and it was one of the hottest chicken sandwiches I ever ate because it burned the roof of my mouth for like 30 minutes of my drive. It was still that hot, and it was good. Like they have they have decent food. Okay, but it's way too overpriced. Okay. But there's a challenge that Burger King is going to be willing to pay you $1 million for to create the next great Whopper. And all you have to do...
The next great Whopper.
Yeah, like apparently the Incredible Whopper and like the other like different types of Whoppers that they've had has been created by fans of Burger King, I guess. But all you got to do is go to their app and then you enter the challenge and then you put together a Whopper of your choice using, let's see here. Starting February 5th, the $1 Million Whopper contest outlining which ingredients, and you can use up to 10 ingredients on their list to create the greatest Whopper or what they would deem the greatest Whopper. And more than 50% of the guests customize their Whopper sandwich and now have the possibility of what those customizations include are endless. Pat O'Toole, he's like a chef marketing officer for Burger King. I don't know. But no, I would do it just to make a shitty Whopper. I want to go
build a burger now.
Yeah. And it's on their app. All you got to do is download their app. But for $1 million, you get to create this thing? Like, what would you put on a Whopper to make it different, though?
I know. That's the thing. I got to decide. Okay,
10.
Flame grilled.
Yeah,
what makes the Whopper a Whopper? It's the sesame seed bun,
the flame broiled,
all the fresh ingredients, and the flame broiled burger, right?
Yeah, and then they have the ghost pepper. The ghost pepper Whopper was actually invented by a customer, I guess.
I'm trying to process it and imagine like what makes the next great Whopper.
Well, here's my question: how much of these contests are actually legit paying out $1 million? Because, like, when we were growing up, you had the McDonald's Monopoly game, right?
Yep.
I didn't ever hear of one damn person winning any car or any money. Did you?
No, from what I understand, there was a big scandal about that. Some
Hell
dude
yeah,
was like scamming and like gathering up all the gathering up all the winning ones.
Yeah, like how do you, or at least all the pieces that you needed to finish the whole board.
Right, but it was like an upper McDonald's employee passing them off to
people they wanted to.
Family members and stuff like that so that they could win instead of...
I was going to say, because we never heard of, like, usually, like, if somebody won a Lamborghini that was on the McDonald's Monopoly thing, But like
You'd
that's
hear about it.
news.
Yeah.
That's news. I didn't hear one person winning the $1 million or the car or the jet skis or
I
the
know.
what others like. I wonder how much of
It was
this.
all hype.
And Burger King is so overpriced. I think I bought a Whopper and like a chicken fry meal, and I spent almost $30 for
Oof.
myself. It was like a meal. I bought a meal, and then I got a chicken fry on the side, like the ghost pepper fries.
Yeah.
Almost, it was like $24.
I think they rang you up wrong.
No, my wife went back, Jamie went back to get the same thing I did, only she got a chicken sandwich instead of that, and it was like $26.
Good Lord.
They're McDonald's all the way. Dollar menu may not exist, but it's still cheaper than Burger King.
Have you seen Taco Bell is apparently dropping a really boss new, like $3 and under menu?
I would go to it. The bean and cheese burrito. You can't beat
They're
a
doing
bean
like
and cheese
birria
burrito.
tacos.
Oh, they've had those.
Birria tacos.
I'm going to tell you this. Have you ever had a real birria taco?
Yes.
Okay.
They're incredible, and nothing fast food makes can ever compare. I 100% know.
Do not eat the. Oh, they were disgusting.
What? No.
The Taco Bell ones? Gross.
Okay. Yeah, dude.
Gross.
Taco Bell is manufactured fast food. It's never gonna taste good.
But they don't.
But it will feed your craving for late night.
Well, they make
lunches.
a mean bean and cheese burrito. Like, I'm not gonna lie about that. They make a good bean and cheese burrito. Like, it tastes good.
Bobby, I will remind you that you can get those ingredients and make that same bean burrito at home better.
But their red sauce is another level. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It's good. Okay, but here's the birria taco. Like, they don't even call it the birria taco. They call it a grilled cheese dunking taco. And they serve it to you with the red enchilada sauce and a cup of cheese sauce to dip it in. It is so gross.
Gross.
It was gross. But a real birria taco, nothing beats it.
Amazing. Shredded beef.
It's the equivalent. It's the Mexican version of the that Arby's sandwich that used to dip in the au jus sauce.
The French dip.
It's the Mexican French dip. That's what it is.
It's a better French dip. You're absolutely right.
Oh, but no, yeah, Burger King has lost my. I mean, I might go to the app just to create the worst Burger King burger, and maybe they'll make it.
You know what? It's probably like $1 million in Burger King.
Oh, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. Oh yeah, it's like
$1 million in free food.
Monopoly money.
I think I actually heard of a dude suing. Maybe it wasn't BK.
BK.
All right, I'm gonna say it's BK just because it makes the story better. But I think I heard of a dude that was locked in a Burger King for like 4 hours in their bathroom, and like finally got out. As part of the agreement, they offered him free Burger King for life, and then reneged on the deal, and he took him to court and sued and won. But it was literally just like it was like for like $29,000. It was for the amount of a Whopper meal a week for like 25 years or whatever it was, however much was considered a normal lifetime left for him. And so the amount was really small. It was like $9,000 or something like that.
A Whopper
It was a
meal.
really small amount that he sued for, but he won. So he sued for that food for life from BK.
I will also give credit to Burger King. Like, I will give one thing of credit to Burger King. I don't know if you remember this, but they had some bomb ass tacos. Did you ever try their tacos? Dude,
I do not remember the tacos.
They had these deep fried tacos that had like their cheese in between it, where they would drop them down, and then it was kind of like McDonald's like ice cream machine. Like, whenever you went through there, they didn't want to make it, so they're like, yeah, we're all out of tacos. But they were good, because I remember going with Sean Smith and Tyler Graham before practice one day, and we picked up tacos. I was like, what? Because I heard Sean, he was like, hey, I want like 6 Burger King tacos. I was like, what? I was like, tacos? Oh, hold up. This isn't Taco Bell. And he goes, dude, trust me. So I got 2 of them, and they were one of the best. Like, they weren't the best taco, but for a fast food joint that's not known for making tacos, they were pretty bomb. I'm not gonna lie. But that's my spiel about Taco or Burger King.
I'm gonna throw out some fast food trivia just for the shock value. You ready?
Okay.
I'm one of the people that keeps Long John Silver's in business.
Oh God. Well,
bro,
It might be
Their
different.
chicken,
It might be different in areas, right? But the one in Hutch, I refuse to even
bro.
step foot in.
I'm 100% talking about the one in Hutch.
Ugh.
I loved eating at Long John Silver's in Hutch,
You
and
loved.
it's
You
bro.
loved. You can't say
I
that
don't
now.
live there anymore.
Right, but you don't go
As
to
a
Long John Silver's
child,
when you
though,
come here. It was good when we
as
were
a
younger.
child,
It was okay. The chicken actually
I'm just
tastes
saying.
like chicken.
But I'm saying even now, if I see a Long John Silver's, I will stop and I will order a chicken combo,
Chicken
and I will
platter.
get the tartar sauce, and I will dip that chicken in the tartar sauce, and I will enjoy it. It is amazing.
Well, what's weird is every Long John Silver's now has like an A and W next to it, and that is just blasphemy.
That's the best part.
Ugh.
No,
Their
that's even
food,
better, dude.
A
Because
and
then
W
you're
food
getting
used
the
to be
chicken
really
and
good.
everything,
It used to be
and
good at
then
A
you
and
can
W.
get a root beer float afterwards.
And so now their cheeseburgers taste like fish. Like they used to have pretty
No,
decent
but
cheeseburgers.
that's why I do the chicken at
You
Long
think
John
it's chicken.
Silver's is because it's chicken, but the breading they fry it in the same stuff, so the breading tastes like fish. So it's chicken with a fish flavoring, and that's why I dip it in the tartar sauce.
Well, you are probably one of the only ones that I know that like Long John Silver's. Like
Man,
Jamie
there's
liked
my
it.
hot take, y'all.
It's yeah, that's ugh.
I'm one of the weirdos that keeps it in business.
Well, hey, we just witnessed, like we said earlier, it was one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. But also, not to mention, let's just talk about the halftime show first. Let's just knock that out of the way, okay?
Yeah.
This is what I firmly believe this, okay? Now, if you did not like the halftime show, okay, I gave it a 9.2 out of 10. If you didn't like it at all, you were either too old or too young to appreciate the type of stuff people our age, like you and me, went through, like the time that we thought we were in love. Okay, Usher.
Yep.
Usher was our number one go to. Him and Casey and
Absolutely.
JoJo. Him and
Yep.
Casey and JoJo. Okay, that was our number one mixtape, burning disc, whatever that we would want to give our girlfriend.
I will also add Boyz II Men.
Okay, yeah,
You
and that
gotta
was.
throw in
I
some
want to
Boyz II
say
Men there,
Boyz II
too.
Men was probably even before Usher.
And yeah, I would actually put it as like Casey and JoJo and Boyz II Men, and then kind of Usher pretty much came right along the tail end of that.
Yeah.
And Usher really carried us through.
Yeah, and
But
he
8701,
added a
best album.
he
That
added
was my favorite album.
He added a little flair to it with his moves. Like he played homage last night to Michael Jackson, wearing the glove.
White glove.
I mean, if you listen to the song last, like he didn't really sing much. He was mainly dancing. Like that was his main. Most of the music was coming from the sound system, and he would have his iconic like.
He had a live mic though and sang along, so that was good. Like it didn't feel fake.
But I knew
And
all
he
the
was
songs.
showing
That
off
was,
his moves.
but I knew all the songs. Like if you didn't know the songs, like I said, you were either too old or too young to appreciate the type of love that you and I thought we were in. Okay,
And then
That's why you didn't like it.
Of course,
Can you
Usher
name
did
everybody
take his
that was
shirt
there?
off.
Can you name everybody that was a part of it? Because I can name every
Yes.
single person.
Yes. Now here's the thing. Could I do it in the moment? No, because I struck out 3 times.
Okay, I can do it in the moment. It was
calling
him.
who they
It was
were.
Usher. It was Usher.
Usher, yep.
Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys called her. She was. I knew she was coming. She's
Her.
amazing.
Her.
I didn't know that was her. I thought that was Alicia Keys with a costume change. And then
Playing the
everyone was
guitar?
like, no, that's not Alicia. Yeah.
Playing the guitar. You thought that was Alicia Keys?
I'm sitting off to the side. I wasn't paying close attention.
Wait, Usher,
CeeLo-
Alicia Keys, Jermaine Dupri.
CeeLo Green pops up.
You thought that was CeeLo Green?
Everybody thought it was CeeLo.
I knew from the get-go it was Jermaine Dupri.
As soon as he started talking, it was obvious it was Jermaine Dupri. But you can't tell me looking at him.
Actually, I think
that
he
man
came
does
before
not
her.
look like
I think he came before
CeeLo.
her, actually. I think it was him and then her. I don't remember. Okay, but anyway, Will I Am.
Huh.
Did you know Will I Am?
Kanye.
Kanye. You said that was Kanye?
Bro, came out, had the goatee and everything, and I was like, did he bring out Kanye? Is that Kanye? And then he starts going, it's like, oh, no, that's Will I Am. Oh, okay, all right. And then Lil
Wow.
Jon.
And then the iconic
Told you,
Lil Jon.
over 3.
The Little John.
Lil
And
Jon.
then
I called Lil
Luda.
Jon.
It
and
was
then Luda.
like you can't if you're complaining about that the only way that to I guess make it clear to why you hated it is because you're too old to appreciate his music or too young to appreciate the type of love you and I thought we were in. Would you agree with that
that's
statement?
funny. I agree with the sentiment. I don't know if I agree with the statement, but certainly the sentiment.
Like people that didn't like it just
I
didn't like that music.
unfortunately heard several people our age that didn't like it, and I didn't understand why. It just wasn't their cup of tea.
Yeah, they were those guys that wore
Made me sad.
skater shoes and all black.
It
Usually
was the punk rock people that
the
didn't
the
like
emos,
the emus. The emus.
But no, I loved it. I appreciated it mainly because I knew every song. Like last year's, I knew 0 songs, 0.
Wow.
And the graphics were awesome. The stage when it lit on fire, that was awesome for Burn, dude.
Yeah.
That took me back. That was like, dang.
The bass drop and the beat, doing the ripple effect.
Oh yeah. When they were skating.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
So good. There were so many good, like it was very good visually.
I got so many.
Like it was a good show.
I went down memory lane pretty much right there before I was like,
Same.
I wish, and that's what brings me to my next question is like when I was watching this, like all I felt was 1990s, 2000s. Like it took me back to school, and that's really what music is supposed to do. It's supposed to take you back to a time where you appreciated whatever. Okay,
Absolutely.
But, hear me out. Imagine doing a Super Bowl halftime show of just 90s hits of that band. So like each band gets one of their top songs from 1990s, and then each stage, like they're panning back and forth to each stage, and they're just jamming out. It's like a 1990s retro.
That would be so
mixtape.
difficult to set up, though.
But they've done it, though. They did it with Snoop Dogg. Look at that. They had 4 stages on that thing, and they went down like a memory train. It was pretty dope.
That was pretty dope.
Who would you want to see at halftime? The only thing that beats that halftime show, I would say, would be the Eminem Snoop Dogg halftime show. Like that was for me, like because I appreciate the music. Metallica
would put on a pretty good show.
Have they done a halftime show?
I don't know.
I wonder if they have. Hey, do you know what?
Be pretty boss,
here's another history thing. Do you know what HER stands for? Like why they call her HER?
No.
I think like it's like every letter means something.
Yeah.
It's like
acronym?
having everything something, having everything like out in the open or something like that. Revealed, I think. Yeah, having everything revealed is what her name stands for. I think I saw it on like Letterman or something.
Interesting. Gosh,
halftime
I don't know.
Show.
I mean, okay, so
Creed.
Personally, for me, One Republic is one of the best bands out there.
Republic. Oh, that's I'm Too Late to a Pile of Jive.
Ryan Tedder, yep. So, like, I'd love to see them put on a show.
What about a country person? Because we haven't had a country one in a while.
Here's why I'm throwing out Ryan Tedder. I think Ryan Tedder would work well because he has writing rights to so many songs that if he could like recruit and get a bunch of people to come sing with him.
Oh, because he's written songs for them.
Could put on a
kind of like what Usher did last night. That was awesome.
Yes, he could put on a montage and include all these different superstars because he's written all of their stuff.
Yeah.
So I would really love to see Ryan Tedder and One Republic really put on a Super Bowl show where he cashes in on that freaking genius lyrical mind that he has.
My last like choice overall, and only because I've appreciated him just I guess within the last 4 years. Like I've just bought his CD. I've literally bought his CDs. I usually buy 2, one signed, one not signed, and that's NF. I think he would put on a hell of a show for a halftime show.
Dude,
NF would kill.
Would entertain for sure.
Like the only thing I see going wrong with that is that not many people know who he is yet, and still
Correct,
don't. Like he's not trying to go out for fame. But I think
he's not big enough that he could garner.
Yeah, you would have a lot more negative reviews than you would positive, but I still think he would put on one hell of a halftime show.
Could you imagine what a show he could put on with Mansions?
Oh man,
like the visual he could put on with Mansions.
Just that one album alone, like him going through each room, like if he set up a stage going through like each room, like exactly. Oh man. But and that's the thing,
story
though.
For sure.
And just him, if he came out to the song Story, that would be so cool. Like. I can name almost every single song that he sings, but like I appreciate his music, and that's why I liked this halftime show because I appreciated Usher.
Halftime show was fantastic, but I do have to ask, in your opinion, because halftime show, but other music that we see at the Super Bowl, such as
Post Malone,
the national anthem.
Here's my statement. Here's my statement. Post Malone's segment was better than Reba McEntire's.
I do not disagree.
And this is why.
Okay.
This is why. Chris Stapleton ruined it for all future national anthem singers forever.
Like, I knew you were going to say this.
You can't
I knew you were going to say this.
He owns the national anthem. He owns it.
You're right. You're absolutely right, man. That was such an incredible delivery of the national anthem.
He had more people in tears by that song.
Now, I want to add to what you first said, which was
Post Malone was better than Reba.
Okay. That doesn't take away from what Reba did. Reba was fine. Reba was good. She did a great job.
Yeah.
But again,
it's like anthem.
She's following up what Chris Stapleton did, and that was incredible.
You can't
do it. Reba, we love you. You did a great job, but that was it was forgettable compared to Stapleton.
The NFL has set everybody like you up, Reba, for failure because you can't top Chris Stapleton's version.
And we
of the
still love you, Reba. Don't hear this as negative. You're still country's. You're still
your country's Taylor Swift. You were country's Taylor Swift of your time.
Dolly Parton's sassy sister or troublesome sister or something like that. Yeah. I like it.
Dolly Parton would be in the same boat with you, okay, Reba? That's all we're saying.
Totally. Now, with that said, Post Malone's little country phase
showed his talent.
Just money. I love, first off, you can tell that man is just a lover of good music.
He is. I bet you he'd be so awesome to hang out with.
Oh gosh, yeah. And it would be fun to just talk music with that dude.
Or anything. Like, that guy is so rounded on so many things.
But you can see in him a deep love for music.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see how much it moves him. And, that's what I love about it.
I mean, I think he broke the record for albums sold at Michael Jackson's record for Thriller in 1985. He broke that.
Dang. That's nuts.
So, Post Malone is an underappreciated talent in the music industry because he uses EQ and stuff like that with his voice. That's one part of what he does. The other part is that he puts on a show, and people need to quit forgetting that it's entertainment. Okay,
exactly.
Post Malone is, in my opinion, well above average. So if he was a halftime show, I'd watch it. I would be more than happy with it.
I think so too.
He would put on a hell of a show too, but it's also the way that he comes at fans in the crowd. He's just a lovable guy. That you're not going to see anything negative about him, and we've never seen anything.
For sure.
I loved America the Beautiful with him. He did a great job.
It was really well done.
And I didn't expect him to bring out a country version of it. I was like, man, this is pretty good. Was it better than Chris Stapleton? Not even close.
Nope.
But did
for Post Malone, it was beautiful delivery, and his little country era is cool.
And really he didn't use any special effects for his voice on that song. He can sing. He just chooses not to use just his voice.
It's like T-Pain.
Yeah. That's Lil Jon, but all right.
We are thrilled, guys. Road to Legacy coming up February 24th. It's going to be a blast. We know, just because we've gotten to be a part of the story, we've gotten to see it all happen. There is so much action coming down the pipe on this one. We got to announce exclusively the match that we're looking forward to, Handgun Dan versus Chance Kerrigan. We actually got to have Chance Kerrigan on last week. So jump on last week, episode 54's post and listen to that. He gives us some great commentary, kind of leads us through kind of how things went. But we get to see that match go down, get to see, Handgun Dan maybe finally driving that nail into the coffin and showing, that he has the mental and physical edge over Chance, or is Chance going to finally get his payback? Chance definitely said he wants to get his payback, maybe even get to bust out a pair of scissors in response to Handgun Dan chopping off his ponytail. That was rough. So Lots of good action coming up. We do not want you to miss it. It's going to be at the Osage Rec Center, February 24th. That's Road to Legacy, Heartland Championship Wrestling. Don't miss it, guys. You can definitely make sure you can catch them on Patreon. I know they're going to have all of the old matches as well as new content as soon as they get it put out and released. So you can find all the good content on there. Chubby Buddy will be back. And in fact, something exciting, Bobby, I'll fill you in. We're bringing 2 new flavors. We did, I know, right? Are you excited?
Yeah.
So you had, what was the big winner for you?
I only tried the one. I only had biscuits and gravy.
Okay, the biscuits and gravy. Okay. All right, so we're bringing biscuits and gravy back. We're bringing chorito, egg, and cheese back. We're going to take a break just for now on buffalo chicken, but we're going to swap buffalo chicken out with a what I'm calling a Southwest chicken club. Okay? So you've got chunks of bacon, chunks of chicken, chopped up bacon in a creamy Southwest ranch dressing mixed with cheese. So it's like a chicken bacon club with ranch and Southwest sauce. Oh,
it's like
so
a chicken bacon ranch.
Exactly. Yeah. Chicken bacon ranch in a biscuit bomb. That the flavor kicks, dude. It's really good.
Is the sauce going to be like the ranch style sauce, or is it going to be like a thicker?
It's ranch. It's still ranch. It's gonna have a very strong ranch taste, but it has more to it. It reminds me a lot of. I was trying to imitate like that Southwest or that Tex-Mex flavor that we love, that we used to get from Taco John's all the time. No, so it's not orangey. No? It's more brown.
Okay.
Just because it's peppers and stuff like that, so I didn't quite go with like a chipotle like orangey color. It's just more like basic peppers. So, but yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so Southwest Chicken Club, it's gonna be really good. And then we finally brought a new one to the table. We've played around with dessert.
Is this Chase Kerrigan's idea?
What was Chance Kerrigan's idea? Remind me.
It was like a cinnamon cream cheese or something like that. Oh,
that's right. No. I like that idea. And I will shoot for that at some point. That like cinnamon roll cream cheese-ish base. But that is not what I went with for this one. Okay? So I actually went with BJ's, Billy's suggestion. He and I grew up loving those Little Debbie strawberry shortcake rolls, right? Mm-hmm. Those things, so good, fire. So I created my own version of a strawberry shortcake biscuit bomb.
Oh wow!
So yeah, dude. So it's chopped strawberries in like sugar and their own sauces, and then a really light, fluffy, almost a mix between a whipped cream and a cream cheese or a cheesecake.
Wow.
Does that make sense? So it's real light, really fluffy, has just a slight tart taste, but very sweet.
Almost like a warm or a room temperature Dole Whip strawberry.
Yes. Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So you've got these chopped strawberries and then this Cool Whip whipped filling. And so what I do is I layer it in the biscuit bomb. And so as you take a bite, it's layers of strawberry, whipped cream, that whipping filling, and then the biscuit, and it tastes.
Is there gonna be frosting on top?
It's not a frosting, but again, like the top has that dollop of the whip on top of it. So like I fill it all the way up and then put a big old dollop of the whipped stuff on top because we pipe it in through plastic bags. And so it's real easy to just fill.
Kind of like the icing cake thing?
Yeah, exactly. So we layer it in, and then so you got this nice fresh biscuit, and then just this layers of nice chilled, strawberries. And
that would even be good warm.
Oh. And what do you mean?
Like if you had like you said it was chilled, right? So imagine if it was
the
stuffings were chilled. Yeah.
The insides are chilled, but the biscuit's still nice and warm.
Oh, okay. So you get some warmth with it too. So
yeah.
Okay.
That's
like
kind
a strawberry
of
hot
like
pie.
it's a dessert. Yeah, that's actually like a strawberry shortcake, but the breading will still be warm. So it'd be like if somebody made you a strawberry shortcake fresh. So
that'd be good. And I'm not
I'm
normally a
excited.
strawberry guy, but that sounds good.
So those are our two big ones that we're bringing out. So that'll be the 4 flavors. We'll have, like I said, biscuits and gravy. We'll bring chorizo, egg and cheese back. We're bringing the Southwest Chicken Club. That'll be new. And we're also bringing the strawberry shortcake bombs. So it's going to be exciting.
I'll definitely try a different flavor this time.
Yeah, I'm excited. But do not miss it. Like we said, Osage Rec Center, February 24th, Road to Legacy. It's going to be a blast. We hope to see you there.
All right. Hey, why don't we knock out this? Let's knock out this Super Bowl talk.
Let's do it, baby.
Where do you want to start first? Since we knocked out the halftime show at the beginning, where do you want to start? Do you want to start from the get-go, or do you want to start with my first reaction, your first reaction?
I want to talk about let's talk about some key moments that stood out to you. Big one for me, Travis bumping Coach Reed. Okay?
It didn't seem any new to me though.
But that's my thing. It got blown up, and I'm thinking, do you remember 4-6 weeks ago when Reed bumped Travis?
And then he smashed the helmet
and was getting in his face.
That was Christmas. That was Christmas.
Yeah. Okay. Not even okay then. Yeah, 2 months ago.
I liked Andy Reid's response to it
when Reed's
too.
Bumping Travis and getting in his face. It's like, guys, you got to understand that like a great coach like Andy Reid knows exactly how to coach every one of his players. Yeah. You notice he doesn't do that with Patrick? That's not the way he needs to coach Patrick. But Travis is that guy. Travis is a little bit bullheaded, a little bit
He's the veteran of the whole organization. He's been on the team longer than anybody.
What Andy has to do with Travis is sometimes they got to go, like bump heads, and and so that they will listen to each other.
Right.
It's like they're both so strong. It's like boom, hit head. But this is never conflict. This is always intended to grow.
I loved his response to it.
This is how we communicate right here. Yeah, absolutely. And Travis's response. I mean, did you hear?
I was just telling him that I loved him.
Yeah, that was great. That was hilarious. Unless my mic'd up rats me out. Oh, it's so good.
And Andy's was just even better just because he knows his players. He knows his players. That's all it is.
Exactly.
And people were overreacting because of how it looked.
So if you're watching that and you're looking at Travis and you're thinking somehow he's toxic or something like that, you're missing the point. Like, football's different.
He's ready to play football.
Men communicate with men differently, and a great coach, a mentor, a man who you look up to and who has your respect and your honor. That dude has a right to talk to you like that, and you have the freedom to get confrontational with them as long as it's respectful with their boundaries. And you ain't got to worry about anybody else's boundaries.
Plus, you're dealing with professional
athletes. Boundaries are good. Exactly, man. We're talking top tier, top notch. Emotions are a part of it. Like, yeah, if Travis had swung on Andy, we'd have a problem.
That was not the case.
That wasn't what happened.
And did he need to hit him? No, he did not. He's got these shoulder pads. He's got shoulder pads on.
Wanting to talk to Andy and bumped him to talk to him.
But only but this is what I will give respect to. You need to realize that only Travis knows he can do that because he's got that respect with Andy.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you this, Travis doesn't do that in year 2. He doesn't do that in year 3. He doesn't have that relationship with Andy yet.
No,
this
not
is
until
a product. This is a product of 7 years in.
Like,
this is a product
it took
of
time
the work, of the hustle.
For Travis to be able to approach Andy like that and not take it the wrong way. He just took it how an athlete would take it. Now, would I have done that to any? No, I would not have, because I am not a professional athlete, first of all. But second of all, I don't think that I had that relationship with any of my coaches. And that's what sets Andy apart from all the other coaches out there. Like, he knows how to coach his players, first of all, but he also knows how to respond to his players. Like,
a great coach individually coaches. That's
he didn't overreact. He didn't. Nope. He's like, it's a game. It's the biggest game in the world going on right now, and at the time, it's the biggest game of their life. Like, they needed.
Huge. It's critical.
It kept the fire lit inside the Chiefs organization. If they would have lost that game, the fire would have died out. Like, so many people would have been like distraught, I think.
So, other highlights, big ones for me. MVS and and McCole Hardman
wide
both
receivers
come down
showed
with
up.
touchdowns. MVS had a statement back in like week, I want to say 6 or something like that, after a really bad game of dropping multiple passes. And he said some comment about, when it matters, I'll make the catch. And I was pissed that he said that line. I was ready to toss him right then and there. And I have to admit, it takes me back to the days of Dwayne Bowe as a receiver, because he used to frustrate me in the times that he would miss plays, he'd drop balls, he wouldn't go up for a catch or something in games where the fight wasn't as strong, if that makes sense.
Right.
But in the playoffs, when it mattered,
It's the risk.
when it was go time, they were clutch.
It's kind of like,
so it's like
they answered Jordan's question from last episode. Like, everything that Jordan had questions about, they showed up and answered those questions. Like, why aren't you going up for the ball? Well, he went up for the ball this time because that's what he's paid to do. Like, the wide receivers showed up just as much as when they needed them, just like the defense did.
Oh gosh, that defense was everywhere too. Man, flying to the ball, making plays, so good.
One of the biggest things that kind of I took, like, from the get go, when McCaffrey, like, I said this to myself right when McCaffrey lost that first fumble, I was like, oh, the Chiefs defense is in their head. It's
Yes,
in
sir.
their head now.
Yes,
But
sir.
McCaffrey rose to the occasion, and then
we turned around and fumbled too.
Yeah, but that was after they scored, though. That was in second quarter when they fumbled, wasn't it?
I think so.
It was after they scored the field goal.
No, it was as we were trying to get into the end zone.
Yeah, and that's when Travis yelled at Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right after that drive, because McCole fumbled.
Mentally, I went to the Chiefs' defense is now in McCaffrey's head, so he's not going to show up. But he did not. He rose to the occasion.
Oh, he played up. He played.
He's the
first.
Went
hard.
Did you know he's the first player to ever have 80-plus yards receiving and rushing in the Super Bowl?
Really?
Yeah. They released that like late last night.
What a beast.
None of the 49ers should honestly be upset that they played their asses off.
Dude, that was easily the hardest fighting game
we've probably seen in a long time.
Yeah, no, in no question in my mind, that was the best possible Super Bowl we could have had. That was a slugfest.
Yeah.
No other teams, I don't know what the Lions game would have looked like, but I can tell you I'm not disappointed that we played the 49ers. It was a slugfest. It was a good game. First half wasn't
quarterbacks
as
at the
exciting,
halftime had the exact same stats.
It was hot.
Both quarterbacks threw for the exact same yardage in the first half. For him being in his second year, he's definitely where he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a professional football player.
I pray that Brock Purdy holds on to that title of Mr. Irrelevant and does incredible things with it.
Yeah.
Man, what a legacy to be able to be that guy.
Yeah, I think he's soaking it in still. I think he's still he hasn't won the big game yet, but I don't think he has to. He's already proved his worth.
I think he's staying humble, and I pray that as long as he can stay humble, I think the talk changes after this year. No question in my mind.
Yeah, because he has one more year on his contract where he can't get any extra money.
I think people are done dismissing Brock Purdy after this year. I pray that's the case.
Daniel, shut your mouth.
I swear, if we hear any more dismissing of Brock Purdy after this year, I will start calling him out. I've had enough, dude. This kid's good.
Brock Purdy right now is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
And last night just proved every bit of it. But let's also highlight Jake Moody's clutch field goal length breaking kick to get broken. Yeah. But only 30 minutes later,
broken by
50. I think it was 55 yards for Moody and then 57 for Bucker.
Yes,
and it was a scary 57.
It almost
blocked.
Bucker's
high
was
snap.
A line drive.
It was a high snap that he had to bring down really quick, and then it was almost blocked.
Almost blocked, yeah.
But it was still, came in clutch. And it was going to come down to the kickers.
Well, yeah, special teams had a ton of clutch stuff. We had
blocked, the punter.
Yeah, the
64-yard that was later
Tommy,
hit it was hit off somebody
Clark,
muffed it. Yeah.
dropped down and hit the dude's foot.
Yeah.
And then went scrambled.
And then the
that
Chiefs
was a
scored a
critical
touchdown
play
on the
for
very
us.
next play.
Oh man.
Like that, if that doesn't happen, Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or you go in.
Well, a ton of that stuff. I mean, you talk like even the blocked field goal. If that doesn't happen, they win.
Yeah, that was weird. That it happened so slowly.
Extra point or field goal.
It was extra point. It was extra
point. Yeah.
But now I made a post on Facebook right after the game, and I don't know if you saw it, and I know Daniel saw it because he was kind of like going, "What are you talking about?" I did not get the feeling that I knew the Chiefs had won after they scored that last touchdown, right?
Right.
I don't think that anybody on the 49ers team or several Chiefs players knew that was the end of the game because they had a
You're
clock.
absolutely right. Everybody's
It
looking
looked
at
weird.
it. Thinking,
it just looked weird.
Mean we still keep playing? Well, because it's funny because Patrick's making fun of McCole Hardman for it.
When he threw the ball, Patrick knew.
McCole caught it, scored
didn't
the touchdown,
celebrate.
and Patrick's running up to him, and he's like, "What are you doing? We just won the game." And McCole's like, "Oh, but we can celebrate now." And it's had no clue.
But Daniel was like going, "Huh?" Like I was like, "Did anybody else not get the vibe that like nobody knew what was going on?" Like
it seems to be very much so that people didn't realize that the game was over at that point. And apparently, there's some reports coming out that there are some San Francisco players that are saying
nobody knew the rules.
They learned the rules on the jumbotron at the Super Bowl.
But this is what's crazy though. Like I felt that I got a weird vibe about the very ending. I mean, I knew they won, but I was kind of like, well, did they win? I was like, it's something that because I think the big thing that was messing with a lot of the players was that there was a clock. Why is there a clock is the question. So like nobody knows why there's a clock because the clock means nothing in overtime with the new rule.
But it does. It does because there's 36 seconds left on the clock. If we don't score,
you guys still get to go.
No, sir.
They just broke that out with Adam Schefter. He said they would have still gotten to play. That's what he said. They would have still gotten to play it out because they still have a chance to score.
If it's a 15-minute overtime window,
doesn't matter.
You get an opportunity to score no matter what?
Yes, and that's what they said. The referee said that at halftime or at that break. He said that. He said no matter what, the only way that they don't, or the other way that they
would is if
downs? They would have to go all 4 and out in order for the 49ers to have won.
Yeah.
But he also made a comment saying, so like if the 49ers threw a pick and the Chiefs ran it back for a touchdown, the 49ers would then get another chance to score. He said that right before they kicked off.
Well, now I'm confused about some of the rules because I didn't realize that was...
Yeah, the clock means nothing. Nobody knew anything.
I knew that the clock didn't really matter as far as... I assumed that there was still a time factor that, like, if the Chiefs can't score by the end of that overtime, then we lose.
And that's not what it was because they still had the opportunity to go... And that's what Adam Schefter was pointing out, like on Twitter. He said the clock means nothing. He said they would have if they were at 1st and 10 with 0 time on the clock, they would have still gotten to play their 4 downs.
See, I didn't realize that. That is rather intriguing to me because I don't think a lot of people realize
what the big thing was. I think that's what the big thing was is why there was a delayed celebration because there was 3 seconds left. There was still time for one more kickoff. There was still time for
but because they only kicked a field goal and we scored a touchdown, that's what wins it for us.
Right, but they were wondering if that time had anything to do with it, I think. The ones that didn't know the rule is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Because, like, I knew they won, but, like, I didn't know why the clock was going. Because he said that the time doesn't matter. The referee said that.
See, and I don't think I realized that. I assumed that it was still, like, old school, like, overtime rules. That, like, you got 15 minutes to play. First one to score wins. If it's tied at the end of that, Super Bowl rules, you'd go to the next overtime kind of thought. Right. But my thought was if one team's got a higher score than the other at the end of that first overtime, that would end it. But
and since
I see what you're saying. If the rules say both teams are guaranteed a possession opportunity to go down and score with no time restraints, that's the thing. I didn't realize that there wasn't.
But the defense can't win in off of a defensive touchdown, is what he said.
That are you sure?
That's what the ref said. That's what the ref said.
That also doesn't make any sense because if somebody's got an opportunity,
that's a possession opportunity to
score, and you take the ball from them,
and that's
game.
And that's where, like, well, that's what it was in the old rules. But like, apparently, this new postseason rule for overtime got adopted before the postseason last year. But we haven't seen an overtime until the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
So that
Right.
I wonder how many
it
of the
doesn't-
refs. I wonder how many of
It
the
doesn't
refs
make
didn't know.
sense that they would allow it. That's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, that this is also me reading stuff on, like, from Adam Schefter, and then also Pat McAfee was talking
Right.
about it. But it really doesn't matter. The time really shouldn't be displayed unless that rule, like you had said, if the time runs out, then the game's over. Like, that's the only way that rule.
That's honestly why I assumed they were using the time.
And that's why I was kind of like, why is there a time when, like, after the ref said that, I was like, why is there time? I wonder if they set that for, like, just because it's at the bottom. Because usually in regular overtime, there used to be a clock. There used to be a clock. Because if you didn't score by the first overtime, it would go into second overtime, and then it would get finished with a tie.
In the regular season, if you don't score, if nobody scores by the end of the game, or if it's tied, because remember, you could go down this was after the rule change, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. After the rule change, if it was tied, you could go down and kick a field goal, and you kick a field goal. But if it ended and it's still tied, then it's a tie game, unless you're in postseason and it goes to second round of overtime.
Yeah, the first change is that you couldn't win on a field goal. The other team had the opportunity to either score a touchdown or a field goal.
You know what it is? I don't think we've ever been in a situation where teams were taking 7.5-minute drives where you could have had a situation where all 15 minutes of the overtime would run out and a team would still be on their first drive.
Yeah, well,
we haven't been in a situation like that.
Well, I'm sure they have, but like it hasn't happened in the postseason.
No, yeah,
I'm sure,
not in the postseason.
That's what I'm saying. The postseason
not
is where
in any sort of overtime situation where they actually needed to calculate it.
Right.
So that's probably why it was such a messy situation. Is how unrealistic is it that two teams would go 15 minutes in a game and only be on the second drive?
And here's another reason why you can tell that the time didn't matter, because the 49ers kicked a field goal, right?
Right.
To put them up.
Right.
If they knew that the time was going to matter, or if they didn't think the time was going to matter, wouldn't they have went for it on fourth?
Not necessarily.
Because the other team had an opportunity to score.
Because if your defense can stop the other team, all you need is the field goal to win.
Well, in regular overtime rules, but not in the new ones.
Well, but if your defense can stop them, you win.
That could be true, but also they also said that they didn't know that the time didn't matter.
Right.
Is what they were claiming.
Getting at is from a competitive perspective. Like if it's fourth down and you're the team with the ball first, you kick the field goal.
Right.
You kick the field goal. You don't risk not scoring any points because all you need your defense to do is to stop them. And at the very least, you can give up a field goal and still stay in the game.
Now, here's my question. Say that they did go for it. Like, I wonder if this is another case. If they did, because I also heard him say something about the field goal rule. So, say the 49ers did go for it, didn't get it on fourth down, and then the Chiefs were inside their own 5, drove it down, scored the touchdown, or then scored a field goal. Would the game have ended then too? I think I need to see the rules also.
In theory, the way I've always understood it is each team gets a possession. Meaning, if your team goes down and scores,
I don't even think
you got the lead. If it's a field goal and the other team goes down and scores a touchdown, they win. If it's a field goal that they score, it's a tie game. And if they can't score, you win because you got the field goal.
And that's logical to always believe that.
So where does it change is what I'm confused about.
I'm going to see here. I'm going to see if it'll bring up Super Bowl overtime rules now.
According to Yahoo Sports,
the defense one that you said is what's throwing me off. Like, I can't fathom the
Both
idea.
Both teams get at least one possession in overtime, regardless of whether the team that gets the ball first scores. If the score is still tied after each team gets the ball, once the next score wins.
So, do you see what I'm saying with your defensive possession thing?
Yeah, I get that.
So, if a defense pick sixes it, that should be game over. There's no reason why why the other team should get another shot at the ball, because the other team getting a shot at the ball would be the team that pick sixed it, and they don't need it because they just score.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the field goal was a good call. But the time thing is what I think is messing people up, because Adam Schefter made that comment, and also the referee said something about time.
I think it's just a perfect storm. I think in almost every other overtime scenario, we don't have two teams going 7.5 minutes on their drives, and we're not looking at the tail end of the overtime and saying, "Oh, this team hasn't finished their first drive."
So I wonder if just that whole clock thing is what messed everybody up there at
100% believe that. And now that we're kind of breaking it down like this, it makes me think that that's what they weren't prepared for.
Because that's what they emphasize in the rule.
So confusing.
That's what they emphasize in the rule, is that each team has the opportunity to score no matter what. So no time. I will tell you what. That would change my strategy as a coach and as a player. If I knew that I didn't have to watch that clock, regardless of what it says, I'm running a completely different offensive scheme. Yeah, you're not going to run 2-minute drill or anything like that.
No. And that's what I felt. It felt like to me, Kansas City was. I was watching that clock feeling
Patrick
rough.
wasn't rushing anything. He was just like, he was calm as can be. Like, they weren't running around.
We called timeouts and stuff like that. Like, we were doing clock. Or no, was that the end of the game?
That was they still have 3 timeouts.
End of the game, we were doing good clock management. Yeah. Overtime, we didn't need to. But no, I guess that was that is something they should definitely clarify.
The only time the time thing would matter is in the regular season, when you only get one chance to score. So, like, that's the only time that time should have been ever on the clock.
I disagree, actually. Well, yeah, in regular season, that's when time should matter. In an overtime
it's a postseason thing,
Yeah, in a postseason game where you know you won't have a tie, then
so no Super Bowl
ultimately shouldn't matter.
And honestly, no Super Bowl that's overtime should have a clock, whatever, because it can't end in a tie. Every Super Bowl should never have a clock in the overtime, but in regular season it should. So that's where the confusion. I just felt like from watching it, and that's why I brought it up and I posted it and I said, anyone else get that vibe pretty much? And like, Daniel was like, huh? And then I sent him these links and I was like, see? And then I also sent him the clip of Patrick making fun of the wide receiver because he wasn't celebrating. And I was like, see, I knew I was getting a vibe. Like,
You're right, man.
Even some of the coaches were like still looking at their playbook after the score. And I was like, why are they?
It's like, guys, it's over. We won.
Like, and then the coaches look up and then
Ferris Bueller at the end of the credits is like, what are you still doing here?
Yeah,
it's over. Go home.
Yeah. And also some of the people that didn't win, like they didn't say Super Bowl champions at the end. It said touchdown. That's what it said at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And so it was weird.
Oh gosh. Have you heard Tony Romo's getting drugged through the coals? Oh, Nance had his great, jackpot Kansas City after McColl catches it. And it goes quiet for about 2 seconds, and you're kind of enjoying the ambiance, and then Romo starts color commentating and like explaining everything over it, and it's like, dude, that's the end of the game. Shut up.
Well, he's the one that said that.
In the moment.
Well, Tony Romo actually, like, they highlighted him on the Pat McAfee show. They said that was the one thing that he said that was a fact, is that the game was over, because Pat McAfee or Tony Romo said the game's over.
But shut up and let us enjoy the call. Jim Nance said, jackpot Kansas City, they win.
Right.
And like soak it up. Let us have that 10 seconds of just watching everybody cheering
20.
and the confetti falling and stuff.
The receiver needed 20 because he didn't even know.
McColl didn't realize it, but no, like pretty much almost right
and
after
then if
Nance
you go back
it,
to also YouTube
Romo's
videos,
going,
people were videoing like what's going on, and then like they weren't cheering, they were just celebrating, yay! Like they were like, wait, what?
Bro, as soon as McColl caught that ball, we were up, we were yelling. I was running through the house, like high-fiving everybody I could. I was like,
it was like I said in the post, I said it's a great game. I was like, but I got this weird vibe that not everybody knew that it was over because that 3 seconds was still on the clock, and they're like, oh, we get another chance.
It was a weird one.
It's
a weird ending for sure.
But no, hats off to the Kansas City Chiefs for doing it. And anybody that doubted them, like, I bet you they're going, son of a bitch.
I will say, even I have to admit, this year didn't look the prettiest. And I wasn't
I think those call for the better seasons, though.
I hate admitting this as a Chiefs fan. I wasn't looking at this year necessarily as a back-to-back year.
I don't think anybody was.
I don't think I was expecting it halfway through. I was like, I don't know, guys. I think we'll make the playoffs.
Because you guys lost games you shouldn't have lost, and that was the only reason.
It felt like there was some chemistry missing, and I was just like, I don't know how we.
But last year, you guys shouldn't have lost the games you lost last year. You guys shouldn't have lost to the Colts the way you did.
I know.
I mean,
but we always end up having games like that, and I think it's because people don't want to admit there's great coaches out there, and the rule of any given Sunday is a real rule in the NFL. Like, you cannot count out a team just because they're the Browns or they're the Bills.
And the 49ers proved that because say they did get like another chance to score, like there was I would say at least a 75% chance that Brock Purdy was going to lead that team down there and score again. Like,
if he'd had another chance, he would have. That's the thing. Like, that was a chess match. Like, that was Rocky and Dolph Lundgren just throwing blows back and forth is what that was. It was awesome.
It was a great game. It's sad to see the NFL end, though. I mean, it felt like it went by so fast that like I don't even remember half the stuff that I watched. It was crazy.
I gotta admit, for me, it was a great year. I won fantasy football and the Chiefs won. My fantasy football win was hilarious because I was garbage. I had like 4 different quarterbacks through the year. Barely made it into the playoffs and got Joe Flacco.
Yeah, he was your
at the tail end.
Comeback player of the year.
Lit it up, comeback player of the year. He took me all the way to the championship, and I won because of Joe Flacco. It was awesome.
And the last two things that I have, the last 2 things I have on the Super Bowl are like I thought the commercials were trash this year. Like nothing really stood out to me that was good.
CeraVe.
I actually went to go make my pizza at that point.
No, you missed the CeraVe commercial?
I watched it later on the YouTube, and I was like, it still does not bring halftime commercial vibe or a Super Bowl commercial vibe.
I agree with you. Like, but put that commercial in with another batch of Super Bowl commercials, and it does okay.
Yeah, and nothing stood out to me enough. Like I would say the best one for me was the Paramount commercial with the Star Wars
Captain Picard.
Yeah, Captain Picard where he's throwing Arnold. Yeah, like that was probably the most made with comical for me. And I was like,
it's Peppa Pig. That was pretty good.
I was like, okay. I was like, that's about it.
I thought CeraVe was a pretty funny little bit and something I wasn't expecting. Because like, who the heck thinks Michael Cera's gonna do a product placement with CeraVe? Like that, I thought it was just funny, creative writing. And it was fresh for what felt like a pretty boring setup of commercials.
Yeah, it just wasn't my thing.
Give us a Tide Pod year again, man. Remember when Tide Pod took it? Like Tide took over? That was such a good year. Or Doritos has always had good ones.
Pepsi.
Like, where was Doritos?
Pepsi was good. Like it seemed like these like believe it or not, like I don't think I've ever seen a political commercial ever during the Super Bowl, and this year we had like 2, I think.
I have to say, I was happy to see Kennedy's go up. I thought that was pretty.
And then they had a Pfizer commercial. I was like, what? Yeah. And then you had
Kennedy's looked cool, man. It felt like a throwback to his dad's.
It was playing homage to the Kennedy family, is what it was.
Yeah.
Even though he was just.
I'm intrigued because as an independent, he looks like he might have one of the stronger possibilities
the only thing that
amongst independents.
And I don't like to necessarily bring up political things, but the thing that I see about him, though, the bad thing is that none of the other president candidates are debating. And if he doesn't get a chance to debate, he's not going to get anything. Like that commercial was his saving grace, pretty much, for anybody to even see him.
Yeah, people won't know him, won't be able to hear his platform and stuff unless there's some debates or something.
And that's the downfall with that. But the commercials I didn't like. Now, how do you feel about the MVP? Do you think Patrick should have been the MVP?
Yes, just because of what he did. I mean, when it mattered, Patrick was running the ball, getting his first down, stuff like that.
He was making me nervous.
Now, I would say you could make a case for butt kicker. You could make a case for Butker. I think he, setting a Super Bowl record, being perfect on the night, hitting clutch when we needed you to. I think butt kicker could make a case, but no. Patrick played lights out and delivered clutch like he always does.
The thing that I liked about the defense, though, is that it was so spread out throughout the whole defense. Everybody played a part. It wasn't just one person. It wasn't just one person that stood out.
Everybody played well.
So
I would say one guy who I was disappointed with their play. I felt like he missed way too many angles. Edwards, no, not Snead.
Oh,
Snead played fine. Edwards had some bad angles and some missed tackles.
I will say this: the one that disrupted the line of scrimmage. I'm just saying this just because he was in every play that was for a loss. Chris Jones,
Chris
was
Jones,
in every play that was at a loss of downs. Every single play, he disrupted every run play.
Other than the fact that the guy gets gassed, because who wouldn't when you play that hard?
Almost 300 pounds.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Hear that not as a criticism, but as a caveat. Recognize you're going to be limited, but recognize that man's value. Oh my gosh. Yeah. He is good. I pray he's willing to take a team-friendly deal.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the Chiefs can do next year with what they could restructure with. I mean, I think Chris Jones will still be there, and you said that he wouldn't be. But with the way that he was last night, he was.
The way he played and how much he loves winning championships, I'm praying he'll take a team-friendly deal. I don't need him to take that much. I just need him to go 24 mil instead of 30 mil. I need him to be willing to take something team-friendly that allows us to sign. I know we're probably not going to get to keep Willie Gay. Let us be able to sign Bolton.
And he didn't
Let us be able to keep Drew if we can.
Willie Gay was
we've got
out.
Drew on a 3-year, I think.
Was he out the whole postseason, Gay?
No. He played a little bit.
He played the Dolphins game. That's the only one I remember.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
But if you guys
There's
don't
several
get
defensive players we're going to have to sign.
If you guys don't get at least most of those defensive players back, you guys are going to struggle defensively. Offensively, I think you guys are pretty well set for the main ingredients. So your tight end, your quarterback, your running back played his ass off too, and that's.
And I felt bad too because Pacheco really didn't have great stat lines for how hard he played, but he played hard.
Ran for over 100 yards, wasn't it?
No,
I think he had 100
Pacheco?
yards.
I don't think so.
I think he had close to 100 yards.
That can't be right. I was thinking it was 80 or 75 or something. Let me check.
McCaffrey only had 80 rushing yards. One receiving touchdown that shouldn't have been counted because they had a legal man downfield.
18 for 59.
Oh, okay.
But he did have 6 receptions.
He had an average game. Yards. Oh, yeah, all-purpose yards. They had a
no, bro. Did you hear that again? Let me say that again.
What?
18 for 59 yards.
18 carries for 59 yards.
Yeah,
that's an average game.
It is average. It's 3.3 yards. But that's ground and pound football, dude. That's not fun. That's not enjoyable.
The running game was not there. You guys have the best defensive line to go against.
That's what I'm saying. That's I felt bad for Pacheco because.
But how many first downs did he have? He had.
But I'm saying his stat lines show how hard he had to work, and he didn't get that much out of it. He was a grinder for the Super Bowl.
Right.
He didn't get to blow up with a big play.
But that would be expected going against that defense. That defense was just a monster.
I don't know, man. Pacheco's so good. I was legitimately surprised that they held him. Just in the same way I was legitimately
first play of the game, they lost 4 or 5 yards. They lost 4 or 5. Yeah, Chris McCaffrey got shut down in the second half.
That blew
the first
me
half,
away.
not so
Are you
much.
kidding me? I was I didn't expect our defense to be able to do that against him.
It was just an all-around great game. But the end of the NFL this year.
For sure.
But do not worry. We have the UFL. And that is, I think that is so hopeful for football fans in general. One, it's going to be, it's great for football and it's great for football fans because they get more football. But the names that are going into the UFL started a long time ago. They had to go, I think they went bankrupt early 2000s, I think. And then they just quit. And that's, right. I mean, but there's so many names involved. You've got, who's the old Notre Dame coach? Lou Holtz's son is coaching one of the, and I was right about the Dallas team. It was Arlington Renegades. It's Bob Stoops.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You've got Bob Stoops. You got Wade Phillips. You got Lou Holtz's son. I mean, you've got all these names involved in the UFL. I think it's just going to be, it's nothing but great for the NFL to come.
Are there any players playing that you're excited to see or anything
I
like
haven't
that?
looked at many of the players. Like they have a draft every year that I didn't pay attention to, and
So
I think
I haven't
that
paid attention to
draft.
much of that either.
Well, that draft also includes old ex-NFL players, not just new players coming
That's
into the
cool.
league. Like
So not just young guys, it's some old guys too.
Yeah, like this helps out high school, college, and ex-NFL or people that didn't make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
So I think the UFL is going to be great.
See who the Battlehawks
Two divisions, the UFL or the XFL versus the USFL. That's what it is. And there's 8 teams, I think. A 10-game season with a playoff. So it's just under what was that? What was the NFL's first Super Bowl season? Like what, 12 games? Something like that? Like it's extra football. Yeah. It's like an extra 3 months of football. So
it's gonna be good.
But that's the UFL. Did you see Nate Dreiling got a defensive coordinator job at Utah State? He was at Oregon, I think.
Defensive coordinator, huh?
Yeah, the Dreiling name
blows me away. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that kid has raised under the mind of Randy Dreiling. So, but I'll never be able to get out of my head that that's the little freshman linebacker that I used to put on his butt all the time.
Yeah,
I loved playing that dude.
And
his enthusiasm. He didn't care that he as a freshman, he was out there going toe to toe with us against seniors. Being our
he was one of the guys that came up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a scout team. At the end of
and it wasn't because season, of his name. His name had nothing to do with it.
No, it had to do with how hard he played.
Yeah.
Absolutely had to do with how hard he played.
He is where he is because of his brain, not because of what his name is.
Class of 40 or 50 freshmen always finished their season before we did because we made it into the playoffs. And there was always 8 or so kids that were good enough, that played hard enough, that we'd bring them up with us and they'd get to experience some of that postseason experience, and we'd make them practice with us.
Yeah.
And so sure enough, little freshman Nate Dreiling, I said little, kid was already almost our height, I think. Maybe
I think he's 6'3" now.
But he was little.
Yeah, he was a freshman.
Small frame.
He was like maybe 5'10" when he was a freshman.
Yeah. He hadn't put no muscle on or anything like that. And so I get to play pulling guard, and he's Mike linebacker. So literally for an hour and a half a day, I basically get to go pop him, put him on his butt, or pick him up and drive him back and have a blast.
But no.
I think what I love most about that dude, he always showed up, did not bother, it did not mind at all the fact that he was getting popped 20 minutes at a time in practice and picking up a bag and having to just take a shot after shot after shot. Always had a good spirit about it. And got back up and was ready for it. Good hit, Miller. Let's go, baby.
And now he's doing big things in the coaching world. A guy that hypes
you like that, man, that is a guy that brings the best out of you. So I'm pumped to see him as a coach, man.
He was at Oregon before this.
Not just the smarts, he has the heart for coaching. The way to build guys up. So
he's a Dreiling
way to
for
go,
sure.
Dude.
He's a Dreiling for sure.
Way to go, man. I pray you continue to kill it out there. Make a name for yourself, dude. Go be a great coach.
But in other news, entertainment. After last episode, I think it was the day after we recorded, I think is when Toby Keith passed away, wasn't it? That was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't look good by any means.
No,
he did not look
he'd been
good.
battling cancer for quite a while.
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
it's amazing
he knew it.
It's amazing how much he was still performing and touring, and just how well he could sing, despite because that was stomach cancer. They had to attack. They had to sew into his esophagus and everything, and his diaphragm.
They took out most of his stomach and
So, and the fact that dude's still singing and give it to his art form, it's kind of beautiful.
Rest in peace, Toby.
Yeah.
Did you watch Jordan's stand-up comedy recommendation?
Because I started it. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet.
It was okay. Now I'm not knocking Jordan. I mean, I appreciated the comedy for what it is. I appreciate it.
Is he a Jordan kind of guy? Like, he seems like he'd be a Jordan.
He's just very dry. He's just very dry, like very like
and very
mono
like,
talk,
charismatic,
like,
but not that
charismatic at all.
Not charismatic.
No, he's very monotone. He's a lot like okay, if you took if Jim Gaffigan was knocked, like, say he's at a 7, right? You would knock Jim Gaffigan down to a 4. That would be Dusty Slay.
Gotcha.
And like, he has a lot of one-liner zingers, kind of like Hot Pocket. Like, that's his. I mean, his was like, it was okay. I give it a C+ for a stand-up comedy.
Okay.
But like, I appreciate Dave Chappelle. Jordan does not. So that's the type of level of comedy that we're on. So.
And in regards to that, I did watch Streamer, which it was phenomenal. It was classic Dave Chappelle.
And it's just, he tells a story so well.
His delivery is
impeccable,
man, and he
and
punches so well.
Oh,
he just.
What was your favorite bit that he was able to take you down that rabbit hole of?
Oh, like, the very first joke he made, dude. I didn't see it coming at all.
About who he's going to pick on now?
No, but before that, he's like, he says somebody being somebody else, and he said,
"Oh, you're talking about Jim Carrey." Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey. Yeah, talking about meeting Jim Carrey.
That was funny.
He's playing Andy Kaufman.
That was.
And then
good.
he's like, "I say all that to tell you that's how trans people make me feel," and I was like, "It came so far
good.
out of left field." But it's
his
precise.
reactions to like the story, it plays into so much of his comedy.
It's such a precise delivery that I was just like, "What?" Oh, man. So,
and only him would like. People still lash out at him, but only he gets away with that on Netflix. Like, nobody else could do that as good as him.
Yeah.
But like, my favorite story that he told also, besides that one was awesome. But the story that talking about his wife, about how like, he's like, "Hey, don't worry. If something happens to me, here's the key to my safety deposit box." That was phenomenal.
She's like,
"There ain't nothing in there." He goes, "There ain't." No, there was just some book in there. Oh, well, yeah, you're set up then. If you tell every joke written the same way in that book, you guys will be set. Good. Man, he's just, I don't know. He's and I only smoked one cigarette, believe it or not. I was like, dang, that was impressive. But that's Dave Chappelle for you. What's the other one? New movies. One Love by Bob Marley comes out on Wednesday. I think it comes out on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And then the new release day of Beverly Hills Cop 4. Did you see that? July 3rd.
I did, and I'm so excited to see that, man. In fact, I was watching Beverly Hills Cop a couple of months back. Like, I just got the urge to watch it. I hadn't watched it in forever.
The only one I can't get behind is the third one. I don't see the point of it.
I love the third one.
I just don't see the point of it.
I know it's Disney. I know it's dumb, but
it's just...
Yeah, that one's the Disney one, right?
I think there were... well, I mean, I was just like, you didn't have to make it that way. Like, you could have went a different route with it. And I thought the one guy died, so that's why he wasn't in the episode, in that number. I was like, why isn't he there? And I thought he may have died or something like that. But no, he's going to be in 4, I guess. So I'm excited for it. I think it'll be like 1 and 2.
Same. I'm super excited. There's a couple of other big ones coming out. Deadpool 3. Saw the trailer for that.
I'm not knocking Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. Like, it was good. Like, it was nothing that had funny parts in it. It just, like, that Marvel and DC type stuff just isn't for me.
It's not your cup of tea like it is mine.
Yeah.
There's something coming out on the 16th.
Did you see Jamie Foxx is playing the new Spawn?
What?
I don't see it. Like, I don't see.
I disagree, man. He could kill it as Spawn.
I look at Jamie Foxx as a comedian actor. Like, I like him in his comedies, but also when he plays like a military guy, like, that gets me going. Like, that's like he plays some intensity level military ops. Like, when he did The Kingdom, I loved that movie. You ever watch that? The Kingdom, where they were in not Baghdad, but somewhere in the Middle East, and like his best friend, like, he was in this community of Americans living in the Middle East, and it got like like they had an open shooter, and then there was a bomb at the
I
site.
don't think I saw it.
Good, you got to watch it. It was good. But
This
yeah,
one,
that's what
this
I
one usually
read.
gets he usually gets thrown under the bus because people say it was a bad movie, but I enjoyed it. Hang on, Bombers? No, that's not right.
Bomber.
What's the he did Jamie Foxx did a movie with Jessica Biel and Josh Lucas, and they were bomber pilot jets. No, hang on.
I don't know. I guess I haven't
And
seen that one
nobody
either.
ever likes it, but I just for whatever reason thought it was a pretty good movie.
I saw
Like,
Ray for the first time
I
over
don't know if
the
it holds
summer, and it
up,
was pretty
but
good.
Stealth. They
Yeah, I
were
never
stealth
saw
bomber
that.
pilots
Yeah, I never saw that.
from like 2005. But it was good.
He did phenomenal in Ray. I thought he did awesome as
Oh,
Ray
he nailed Ray.
Charles. But no, that's just what I read. I haven't seen a trailer or nothing for it, so maybe you can Google it and find it. But I read that he was playing in the next Spawn. And the first Spawn, I was not a fan of. It was pretty. I mean,
it was
very
dark. I wasn't
yeah.
a fan of it. Since after learning about Spawn and stuff like that, I get it now. I don't like it, but visually,
like
I went
Sin
back
City.
and watched it. Yeah, visually, I went back and watched it, and I appreciate what it offers. But yeah, it's not one that I love.
I mean, I like
However,
Michael J. White.
Michael J. White
His
and
MMA movies are awesome.
always been one of the coolest like martial artist actors that just doesn't get near enough credit.
Yeah, I like him.
I remember
and I didn't...
he did Universal Soldier with Van
Dolph
Damme.
Lundgren. Oh, I thought it was Dolph.
Yeah, and Lundgren. Yeah, all three of them. And that was one of my absolute, that was number 3 or whatever, and it was my absolute favorite of those movies. Such a great one.
What was there was somebody else that you were talking about that I was going to bring up. Michael J. White. I do like his his MMA style movies, like Never Back Down. Did you know the clown in Spawn? Do you know who plays him? I read somewhere that he died, like on a TikTok video. I think I saw it. And I was like, whoa, he died. I thought he was a midget.
I feel like I know who that is. Who is that?
He is the dude that plays Luigi in the Mario movie. The reenactment. What's his name? He was also in John Wick.
John Leguizamo?
Yes, that is the clown in Spawn.
No, it is not.
Yes. Somebody showed it. Was it what? I had no idea.
I'm going to look this up now, bro. I've got to know if that's true.
I did not know that. Like he played him pretty well because he was in the movie. He was overweight, short, or like he was hunchback or whatever. It's pretty wild. But I saw in the TikTok video that he was dead. I was like, he's dead. And then somebody said, no, John Leguizamo is not dead. I was like, what?
No, John Leguizamo is definitely not dead.
I know that, but I didn't realize that was him.
There's no way that's John Leguizamo. Holy crap, it is! No
I had no
way! How many prosthetics did they put on that man?
He looks like a midget in the movie, doesn't he?
I love him as an actor, and I never knew that was Leguizamo. That's insane.
Pretty wild.
Oh my. Thank you. That's a cool little bit of trivia that I am glad I know now.
Yeah, don't believe TikTok, that's for sure.
Crazy.
But no, unless you had some other movies.
February 16th is Oppenheimer. Comes to Prime, and I finally get to watch it.
It's already on. I already watched it.
Or no, not Prime, Peacock.
What's it on Prime? Because I can watch it on Prime.
You probably bought it on Prime, dummy.
No, I didn't. I promise. It was on.
It's not available on Prime.
Well, because we share it with somebody. Maybe they bought it.
Yeah, there you go. They probably bought it.
I think it was on Showtime.
It comes to Paramount, I think, on the 16th. So,
I think I watched 3/4 of it, and then I just haven't finished it yet. It's pretty long.
I think that's probably the thing that my wife probably owes me an apology for.
What?
is the fact that she made me go see Barbie with her and did not go see Oppenheimer with me.
Yeah, I think that would have been a way better movie in theaters. Like, just
Yeah,
because of the history
for
behind
sure.
it. Like,
For sure.
ooh,
But
here's my last
now,
thought on entertainment.
granted, the reason for why we didn't see it in theaters was because I was working like 80 hours a day a week at the time, so it wasn't
Yeah, I was going to say,
possible.
because you
But
did go see Ninja Turtles too, also, didn't you?
yeah,
The
oh
cartoon.
yeah. No, the only reason I think Barbie we were able to see, like, they came out at the same time, but like we saw Barbie and we were gonna see Oppenheimer, we just never was able to get back to the theater to see it.
Yeah. Well,
So
my last thought about entertainment before we go. Could you imagine if they opened up the Sphere, all right, and played the movie in Interstellar in the Sphere?
ooh,
Ooh,
that'd be cool.
I would totally
That'd
want
be
to go
real
to
cool.
that.
They should, like, the Sphere, if the Sphere wants to make money, they've really got to start figuring out creative ways to utilize it and start cashing in.
The UFC's
Like, even
got
if
a
it's
set
just,
date to have one of their fights hosted on that. Like, they're gonna video, I guess, view it in there. So, like, if they're having the fight at the MGM, you're able to watch
right,
it at the Sphere in the Sphere.
that's kind of cool.
I mean, obviously, you would have to be there to be able to appreciate it, but
Yeah.
yeah. But just cool movies in general would be cool to watch. Kind of like Michael Jordan when he was at the Cosmosphere, that movie that he had. I think I saw it twice.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. But no, I think that's pretty much it. Other than the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, they are your
Yes,
Super Bowl
sir.
58 champions. And that pretty much that parade that they have every year after each Super Bowl looks wild. Like,
It
I
does.
don't think, I mean, we went to the draft and there was a ton of people there for that, but I still don't think that it surpasses the amount of people that are
No,
there for the
the
parade.
parade is next level, dude.
Like,
5 million people.
I don't think I could, like, fathom being that uncomfortable around that many people.
5 million may be a bit of a stretch. I don't know how
It's
many
cool to
actually
watch.
shows up at
I
the
think they
parade.
actually had 3 point some odd million there the second one because it was
I was gonna say,
warmer.
I do remember it being over 3 million, but I don't know, 5 million could be cool. I'd
Like,
love to see 5 million at the parade.
yeah, it's wild to watch. I watch it every year live as it's going on, so it's pretty cool to watch. Like, just their trip that they take from wherever it is that they started all the way to Union Station is just wild.
Yeah.
But no, that is
man.
episode 55, and I'm glad we were able to do this on a Monday and knock it out after the Super Bowl. That way we can talk about
Yes,
it
sir.
more recent. This one will drop on Thursday, the day after Valentine's Day. So now Jamie won't know what I got her for Valentine's Day until she gets it. So it works
Love
out.
it.
But make sure
Love
you hit that like button, consider subscribing, leave a comment, let us know your input on the Valentine's Day gift, or maybe your thoughts on the Super Bowl. Should the 49ers have won that game? Were you confused about the overtime rule? I mean, but also follow us over on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. Time to time we put videos out over there. And don't forget to check out our sponsors, HCW and also Rage Beef Jerky. Go and visit them over on Facebook, Instagram, and visit Rage at www.ragebeefjerky.com.
Check us out over at the Chubby Buddy, too. We'll gladly...
Go follow the Chubby Buddy on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, come see all the different flavors of biscuit bombs we're doing.
You are posting quite a few video or pictures on Instagram. So
yeah, I've been posting new flavors, new recipes. Been trying to do like a series of like one each day as we just promo. So just mastering it and spending time learning how to do it well while we get the house sold and ready and everything like that. So
I can't wait to try a new flavor.
Can't wait till I will see you
February
the 24th, sir.
And then join us next week as we may have a very special guest.
Absolutely. It'll be a good time. All right, y'all. We love you. I love you, Bobby.
Have a good rest of your week, even though you're happy.
Hey, I will. You as well.
Bye.